Hey, it's Ryan Ogren from Money Make Marketing. And if you're an attorney that relies on word of mouth to generate all of your cases or a majority of your cases, then this is for you. And this works for every practice of law that we've actually come across. I listed them out here, but I imagine it would work for you as well. And it works for you whether you're a solo practitioner or you're just you're part of a bigger firm, because this is your own personal marketing system. It's not your firm's marketing system. Okay, so typically, word of mouth equals more clients, which equals more cases and equals more money, right? But the issue is if we want to increase word of mouth so we can make more money, it will require way more time, way more effort, and actual marketing skill, which also requires both time and effort to learn. So these are some examples. Going to more events. You can go to more events like CLE events, bar association mixers, webinars, community talks, fundraisers. You could call or email past clients, other attorneys, other professionals. You could join local groups and committees, sponsoring events. You could do all of that, right? But it just feels like you're pushing a ball uphill, and it's chaotic. It's sporadic. We don't actually have an input to output equation where you go to this many events, you get this many actual clients from it. It's really just you're kind of shooting from the hip. So I think we can all agree to make more money, we need more high-value cases, okay? Just more cases alone isn't going to cut it. We need more high-value cases, and those come from more high-value clients, right? Which means we need more word of mouth without requiring more of your time, effort, and marketing skill, okay? But how can we actually do this? So first, we have to break down what word of mouth really is, okay? And all it is a person that knows you and trusts you, your skill, and your specialty, and has someone in their network that could use your help. That's what it is. And this person can be, another professional. It could be an attorney. It could be just someone that knows you, someone that's following you. It could be a million different things, right? So we need to be in front of everybody. So to increase word of mouth, we need to increase the amount of people that know you and trust you and your skill and specialty. We also need to increase the quality of the person who knows and trusts you, because they typically have a higher value network. We don't want to just go get involved with a bunch of poor people, and that's not necessarily. I'm not saying poor people are bad, but in some instances, yes, you actually do want to do this. But for the most part, getting involved with more millionaires, getting involved with more billionaires, usually will make your cases skyrocket in value. So that's really what we're looking for. So then we just need a way to start the conversation with them, or give them a way to start the conversation with us. So real quick, who are we? We're Money Make Marketing. I'm Ryan Ogren. I'm the founder of Money Make Marketing, and this is me back when I could hit a curveball. I'm a former pro baseball player. I played with the Orioles and the Mariners. And we've been in marketing for about 4.5 years now, since that day I left the Baltimore Orioles. And since then, we've been able to drive a significant amount of revenue for our clients, and we've done it primarily through organic LinkedIn outreach. And I'll show you how this actually works here in a second. But the main thing I want to show you is these are screenshots of actual posts from our clients, and I just want to show you the impact, okay? So this post right here, 34,000 impressions, 147 comments, 11 reposts. A repost is just when a follower takes your post and reposts it to their network, right? So we get a ton of impressions and reach that way. Here's another one, 48,000 impressions, 98 comments, 9 reposts. Let's go do another one, 81,595 impressions, 58 comments, 37 reposts. Here's another one, 127, 904,000 impressions, 224 comments, 58 reposts, 736 likes on that post. And here's a new client that we just onboarded last week, so you guys can actually see what it looks like. 226 profile views in the past week, 6,736 post impressions in the past 7 days for our first post that we did for them. And you can see here, they're an attorney in Philly. And this was that first post. So 113 likes on it, 13 comments, 2 reposts on this one alone, 4,856 impressions. We did 2 posts in the first week. So very simple, very cool. And from this, we actually booked the first call. So he has a dinner on Wednesday of this week from this post. So fantastic way to actually generate more revenue for your business. And I'm going to show you the solution now. So really quick, why LinkedIn? The reason LinkedIn is going to be the best place for you is because you have visibility to all referral sources, attorneys, CPAs, advisors, executives, and more, right? But it's also a business-first environment. People are expecting professional conversations here. They're expecting to do business here. It's what the platform is. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's a little more personal. It's really where people are just scrolling and just trying to get away from work. So That's the other thing. And then also higher value cases. So LinkedIn skews towards that corporate and professional matter, right? So the people that are on LinkedIn, they're typically there either to hire other people, to recruit. They're there to actually do more business. They're there to actually do kind of B2B marketing. And all of those people, they have networks, right? So we can actually get in front of that network, but they typically have higher value networks because, business owners run together, millionaires run together, billionaires run together. These clusters, they all are similar, right? And they would still have, personal injury cases in their network, right? And it just runs in the normal course of life and business. But a personal injury case that comes from, a business owner might be totally different and higher value case than one that just comes off this, off of Google ads or something like that. Right, so that's just an example. We do more than just personal injury. I'm just saying this to give you an example. Then we have a compounding effect. So the issue with you going to events and going to webinars and just going to these one-off things and sponsoring teams, there's no compounding effect. On LinkedIn, we compound because every post gets us more followers, gets us more connections, gets us more engagement. And over time, when you actually are starting to build your audience, your content builds your authority over time. And it comes to a point in time where you post once and you get all the cases that you actually need. You get 10 booked calls, 20 booked calls off of just one post alone. And all of those calls are qualified because you're talking in that content about the actual cases that you want. So the compounding effect is really just how you take over your market, but also put in effort right now that pushes that ball up the hill, but eventually that ball hits the top of the hill and starts rolling down. That compounding effect is the thing that's going to be feeding you for your entire career, realistically. So then also there's less noise compared to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. LinkedIn is fairly new when it comes to a social media platform compared to them. And also it's very easy to stand out. Everyone uses AI generated content on LinkedIn. So if we just have a little bit of personal branding and a little bit of personality behind your posts, and just telling stories and telling some viral content strategies that we have, we can get so much more reach and way more engagement on these posts than anything else. So it's way easier to stand out than Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then also it's a smarter and more useful algorithm for what we're trying to do. Profiles are tied to real names and job titles, so reach is actually targeted. When you sign up for a LinkedIn account, you have to verify yourself. You also have to you have to go through your job title, where you work, your first name, your last name, your email, all these different things. And LinkedIn does that by design because now their algorithm is targeting and showing content to people that are going to probably engage with it, and that is by job title because of the problems that they usually have in that particular business. So that's very easy for us to actually crack. Now here's our strategy, okay? So we start with organic posting from a personal LinkedIn profile. That post, so this is the post, that post generates impressions, likes, comments, reposts, and DMs. So people are just engaging with the post, and we immediately DM everybody that's engaging. And we do it in a way that's very passive. Hey, usually people that'll engage with your post is someone from your network. And so we'll just engage with them in the DMs. We'll do it for you, and we'll just say, hey, John, what's going on? Thanks for the comment. How's everything on your end? Boom, they starting the conversation. Usually, if they have a referral, this is where it gets generated. If they have someone in their network that they want us to talk to, they say, hey, you know what? There's actually someone in my network that's having this issue. Is this something you do? Boom. That's how it usually goes. And a lot of people make a mistake here because they don't engage with their content, right? And so when we also engage with this, we get in front of all of their networks. Okay? So when people comment, they do whatever they got to do, they repost on LinkedIn, we get in front of their entire audience. So now just from one LinkedIn post, we got in front of a bunch of people here that engaged with us. We engaged with them, fed the LinkedIn algorithm even more. Then we actually got in front of more of their network as well, right? So as long as we have the right trust and authority building content that we usually post, we're going to be able to actually get in front of a ton of people and generate a ton of engagement right off the bat. And you can see from up here how much engagement we really drive. And these accounts are, by the way, they're 300, 400, 500 connections when we start. This account right here that drove 127,000 impressions on one post had 300 connections before this post. After there were 500 plus. Okay, so it doesn't take a lot. Then we get in front of the network. We just went through all the DMs, we referral, and that's really when you start closing deals. But each impression gives us access to their network. That person sees it. If someone in their network is having legal trouble in your specific area based off the post, they will send the post to that person. But also, it's another way to stay in front of all other attorneys that are in your network, but outside of your network. Okay, so a meeting that came from our first post for our new client last week, the meeting that's this Wednesday, the dinner, came from another attorney that set it up. So I want to just reemphasize, attorneys get a lot of cases and they refer them out. So if we stay in front of them, we continue to do thought leadership, continue to build authority, you're going to have a very easy time generating referral cases. And realistically, those are the best type of cases because they close really quickly. So why this works, LinkedIn's algorithm will show your content to the right audience. It has the best algorithm out of any social media platform, but it also just amplifies your current sales process and your conversion mechanism. You get your cases from word of mouth. This is just amplifying your word of mouth, right? And typically we hear, Ryan, we tried this before and it didn't work. It's usually because of inconsistent posting. We try to post at least 3 times a week, sometimes even more, depending on where you start with us. We might even start with 2 posts a week, but it's consistent, right? Or you're posting the wrong type of content, right? There is a specific type of content that LinkedIn needs to see, and it's our special sauce. It's our secret sauce. This is really where we stand out, and this is really why you would work with us, is because of the content that we actually post for our attorneys. You might also be posting the right type of content, but to the wrong audience. You're calling out the wrong audience, and you're just not getting the cases that you want. And that's another big issue. Maybe you're doing wrong content. Maybe you're doing the right content, but you're to the wrong audience. Or, and this is a huge one, you aren't DMing your engagement. And why won't you do this? Because it takes time, it takes effort, and it's just annoying. So those are the main reasons why we see this not working. But every other reason, like we can go and generate a case tomorrow, realistically, if you have everything set up properly. So it doesn't matter what type of law practice you have. It doesn't matter what type of cases you're looking for. This works whether you're a solo practitioner or part of a big firm. This is your personal marketing system and one that's going to feed you, for years to come. So if you guys are interested and you want to talk a little bit more, you want to know what kind of content that we're actually posting out there, shoot me a DM and say, hey, Ryan, we're interested. I'd love to speak a little bit more about this, and we'll book a call. And that call, I'll walk you through a little bit more aligned with what kind of cases you're looking for, the content that we would be posting, and then what our strategy actually looks like and what an engagement with us might even look like for you. So if you want to know what type of content to post for your specific cases that you want, your specific niche, and you also want to see what it might look like to work with us, let me know and we'll book a call. It'll be a 30-minute call. And we look forward to speaking to you and hopefully meeting you soon. All right, see ya.